Tony, I think I debuted that with you and
You did.
wondered if Doobie had seen it, and he had not seen it. So when he came back, he was just like, and then it took him like 3 days to figure it out, and then he got used to it, and then he forgot again.
Well, I thought it was also like a placeholder until you figured out something else too, and then now it's just stayed the whole time.
No, I mean, I liked it from the beginning. I wanted to tweak it a bit, and I couldn't do any better. So anyway, welcome to the Disney Morning Show. We are back for one day this week. I'm Kyle. I'm joined by Tony. Hi, Tony.
Hello.
Let's say some hellos real fast before we get into the meat of the show.
Fred says good morning and welcome back. You've been gone for a little while, haven't you, Kyle?
My dreams were my ticket out.
Okay. Nikki, all Pedro all the time is fine. I guess we're going to address that here in a moment. Fred also says Pedro has been busy this year. And Austin points out Star Wars in the Hong Kong. Star Wars is actually in Japan. Star Wars Celebration going on right now.
Yes, but then, we've had people. I think, no, he would have flown over Japan, the tip of Japan, to get to Hong Kong. And then Jeremiah flew from Hong Kong to Paris. And I was tracking his flight and just China's so big. He was just there for like, it's a 13-hour flight and he's just cruising over that. But anyway, even though the stock markets are closed today, we are still going to start this show as we do every show.
Are they closed for Good Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
So when we did this last, our total was at, I already erased it. It was like 83 something. And today it's not going to be moving, but it's at 84.81, which was apparently up on yesterday. So yeah, not great, but not sinking lower than it had been. So I guess that's positive. But now we're going to get to the weather. Here's Ethan.
Hello there and welcome to another edition of the LP Disney Weather Report. They made up their minds, and they started packing. They left before the sun came up that day, an exit to eternal summer slacking. But where were they going without ever knowing the way? They drank up the wine, and they got to talking. They now had more important things to say. And when the car broke down, they started walking. Where were they going without ever knowing the way? Anyone can see the road that they walk on is paved in gold. And it's always summer. They'll never get cold. They'll never get hungry. They'll never get old and gray. You can see their shadows wandering off somewhere. They won't make it home, but they really don't care. They wanted the highway. They're happier there today. Let's get to the weather. Anaheim will be pretty cloudy today and top out at just 63. Walt Disney World will be sunny today and reach a high of 85 degrees that will also feel like 85 degrees. Castaway Cay will be 75 and windy as always, while Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point is 78 and also windy. Go figure. Disneyland Paris is greeting Jeremiah with 63-degree weather this evening, cooling to the mid-50s in the hours ahead. In Tokyo, where Doobie forgets that he is, it'll be sunny and 77 tomorrow with an evening low of 66. Shanghai will be overcast tomorrow but warm, reaching 83. Lastly, Hong Kong will start the day with some showers but will just be mostly cloudy the rest of the day with a high of 79. And that will do it for another Disney weather update. Have a great day and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.
So we, as mentioned, we're going to start off at Star Wars Celebration, the first day of which started yesterday at, I don't know, like 9 o'clock my time.
Travel confuses me too.
It doesn't confuse me. It's just kind of funny. I wake up and there's all this news. But the first piece of news was really more of like a confirmation. Apparently I have to add this to the screen. I also forgot to do something. Let me do that real fast. Hold on.
Real
Let's
quick,
look at some comments while we are.
Yeah. Fred says Flavon because it's clobbering time. I think we're going to get to what he's talking about in a little bit here. Why'd you do Doobie like that? Did Doobie forget he was in Tokyo?
I'll have to tell you that story after.
Okay, got it. Either way, Nikki's laughing at it.
I'll tell it. It's not that. So
footage, by the way, the monorail going by.
We'll go inside LP real fast. He yesterday was suggesting that when there's a new panel that we're going to be live blogging, that I do a push alert on the site. And Luke pointed out that, well, it's going to be the middle of the night for people over here. And Doobie said, and I quote, "Oh, I forgot that I'm on the other side of the world." We're like, did you not notice all the Japanese around you? just forgot. So I thought that was very funny, and it's been sticking in my head all day.
Like I said, time travel is confusing, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Ryan Gosling, this is not a Star Wars movie. This is from Fall Guy, but they confirmed he's going to be in the Sean Levy directed movie.
Small.
Sorry, I got a lot of things here. I can try to make it a little bit larger for you. There. How's that?
Okay.
That's good. Okay. So we got official title for this movie, though. It's going to be called Star Wars Starfighter, which to me is kind of the equivalent of Universal's Epic Universe. But what do I know?
And also, we already saw a movie called The Last Starfighter, so I guess it wasn't the last one.
They're decanonizing somebody else's movie. That's how powerful Star Wars is. And they're going to start filming this fall, and it's supposed to be a standalone. So we're supposed to be done with the Skywalker saga. We'll see how much that holds up. But yeah, interesting development there. And then we also got some news about The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is currently underway. This is a photo of our good friend Pedro Pascal. So this is one of those things where they showed footage in the room and they didn't release it online and you weren't allowed to film it. But Alex conveyed to Eric what he saw, and to the best of our ability, we tried to write up what was shown. So you can check that out over on the site.
Would we get into trouble if we popped that description into an AI generator and
tried to make have it animate? Yeah, that's an interesting idea, but let's not do that. And then Grogu also appeared on stage, if you can believe it. So that's, I'm sure, very cute. Let's see if we have a photo of that. We don't, so too bad. No, we might have it in a tweet. Let's see. Nope, that's Sigourney Weaver.
I was like, I know I saw a video of it somewhere.
How did he not beat Figment? Come on now. Let's just... We went wrong. Anyway.
That one. Chandu is my big one.
And then this is where Tony, not the biggest Star Wars guy, but when you put the word animation in there, then Tony's like, I'll take
my attention, that's for sure. But I also, Darth Maul is a character I kind of enjoy. But he is getting his own animated series that was announced at Star Wars Celebration, set to release in 2026. The story takes place after the events of Phantom Menace when he died, right? But we also saw him in Rebels and Clone Wars, and
I think Rebels explained that why he wasn't dead and how he appeared in Solo.
Yeah,
spoilers for Solo, because you saw that movie 10 years ago.
But so they will fill in those gaps in time and figure out what's going on. So I'm kind of excited for it, actually, and that's a lot. That says a lot, because most Star Wars stuff doesn't interest me anymore. So.
Yeah, very exciting news. And then we got another update on a different Star Wars animated show.
We are getting a third season of Disney Junior and Disney Plus. Their show, Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures, following everybody from Kai and Nubs. And we're getting new characters, a bunch of droids, which I thought when I read the description were going to be the BDX droids. I got a little like, come on, where else are we going to put these things? But they're not, based on the picture there. They look like they're going to be R2 units of some kind. But we have Beepers, Dozer, and Gigi. And then Dottie.
They might be that one might be an R2 unit. These ones might be R something else units. Okay. I forget how the numbering system works.
Say it. And then we'll have Dottie from Dottie's Droid Depot, as well as Rek Manu, if I'm saying that right, an eccentric droid builder and tinkerer.
And you're telling me this isn't Vampirina?
Correct. And Vampirina won't be Vampirina anymore because she's getting her own live action series soon too. So
when I went to my cousin's one time and his daughter had a Vampirina microphone toy, and every time you'd hit it, it'd go, home, scream, home. So it's, anytime I hear the word Vampirina, it's just implanted in me. But that's all from day one. I mean, there's some other small stuff. You can check out publishing, Hasbro announcements. For all of that goodness, at any time of day, even if the convention's not going, you just go over here to the What We're Covering section. I got the live blog link right there for you. It'll load live. There should be nothing new since the last time they posted something. So yeah, scroll through, see all of our tweets in one place, and you can just leave this tab open, and then a little button will come up and say, hey, there's 7 new tweets. You hit the thing, and it loads the new tweets for you. So there you go. Make sure you do that. And you can check everything out from Celebration for the next 2 or 3 days. Well, should be
over the
getting some
weekend.
parks announcements too. So that's the stuff I'm looking forward to. And so, yeah, even if you're not in Star Wars, you're into the parks, you will learn more soon. But let's go over to Hong Kong now because
Speaking of parks.
Yeah, speaking of parks,
Yeah.
exactly. They rolled out the red carpet. And when I say that, I mean it literally. As Tony and I joked, it's no swimming pool. But yeah, they had a party for the announcement of their 20th anniversary celebration. So their actual anniversary, I think, is in like September. They're going to kick off the celebration in April or in June. And this was their April announcement of that, of what they're doing for the June celebration. And they did all this. So yeah, we have some coverage of that. This, as cool as it was not the main focus of the event. We got a look at, well, first of all, we learned the start date, which is June 28th. The characters all came out in their 20th anniversary costumes, which I like. I think they're fun, including, oh, look at him flying. Duffy and Friends also have costumes for it, in addition to the Mickey and Friends. And so we also got a preview of some of the things that will be happening then, including Tony, some of the floats that'll be part of the parade.
Parades in general, but celebration parades obviously will always get my attention. Fantastic is coming. It's the biggest parade Hong Kong Disneyland has ever had. We got to look at some of the floats, as Kyle will show off here. And I think we have a video too that we might come upon. But it will have floats featuring Zootopia, Big Hero 6, Encanto, Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Turning Red, Inside Out, Up, Duffy and all the friends, and the Disney princesses. So realistically, it sounds a lot like a Pixar parade, but it's a celebration. It's a celebration of 20 years of Hong Kong Disneyland, which is shocking to me. Again, time is confusing, but yeah, 20 years later.
Yeah, and they showed 3 of the floats.
The Encanto one is fun, which we'll see in a minute. It's pretty big, but like as a float design, I'm like, oh, so it's just a big box, kind of like Mac and Paint the Night, where it's just a truck, we just decked it out. But the Encanto float is just the rolling house, but it's got fun little features like Isabel on her swing, and then Bruno's kind of on the backside sneaking around.
Yeah, it's Casita. I'm surprised that you didn't. The Turning Red one is the one in the middle of this.
So the Turning Red one's fun, but it's very small. It's just May on in her panda form on. I immediately think of a whirly ball in Spectral Magic, but on a single unit that has other Turning Red iconography. The one for Better Together at Disneyland is far superior, in my opinion, if you're comparing Turning Red floats. But yeah, that one stole the show from what I saw.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, you can check that out on our YouTube. But I have too many tabs open still. We also got to look at some of the merchandise, which always fun. So let's take a look at that and see what we like, what we don't like. Tony and I are very opinionated people. First of all, Duffy and Friends in their decorated 20th anniversary forms, like that. Every size plush you can imagine, apparently.
Yes.
For Mickey and Friends in their costumes. I don't exactly know what those are. Oh, that
was Duffy and Friends plush. It looked like. Oh, and wigs.
Just
too.
Headbands, or do they come with the wigs? I don't think they come with the wigs, right?
I'm assuming it's just the headband.
Okay, that's fun. I would wear that headband with all of them on there, or this one where they're like crawling on top of your head to get a present. Very cute. Wow, there's 58 pictures here, so we are not going to go through them all, but I do really. This is a cute Spirit jersey. There's a better one that I like more that I will highlight if I get to it in time. Maybe I'll just a couple more. Let's go.
Okay.
Ring, ring, ring. Okay, we're not going to find it. So, yeah, You could check out all of the merchandise. Obviously, there are several photos over on Laughing Place.
Fred thinks
I got
Pedro
so
might
close
need
to
one of those
finding it,
wigs
and then I didn't.
to keep
What?
it in line with the Pedro theme. Fred thinks Pedro's going to need one of those wigs. So
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Anyway, another thing over in Hong Kong is food.
food. You want to talk about lots of pictures? Load up our food site. There's plenty of food items coming for the 20th anniversary as well. A good portion of which is themed to look like Duffy and Friends. Hugely popular characters over there. But there's a lot of little things that have them featured on it in some way, and even pastries that look like their faces that I don't know how anybody would be able to eat because it's just eating the head of the pastry or of the Duffy characters.
Yeah.
Those are quite far down there if I remember right. But yeah.
Some more inside LP. This logo here is cool. I like it. But the problem is when I wanted to put it onto my thumbnails for the videos, because it's got that like soft focus thing, removing the background, it was not happy. So I had to take off the mouse ears and just make it the basic O. So that was disappointing. But yeah, so that's the bulk of it. We still have there's more coverage. If you go over to Laughing Place, you'll find all about Hong Kong. Jeremiah's journey over there, flying for 15 hours to be there for probably less than 24 hours before flying over to Paris, where he is now. And we'll talk more about that in the future. But right now, we're going home.
Down the street.
Home to Florida.
From here.
About 6 miles away, I think is what Tony says.
Studios is about 2.8, maybe 3.
2.8, okay. But yeah, Tony, we got to look.
We have a new music.
Not just see your highness, but here.
And we'll get to calling everybody a trash can in a second because are we going to play some of this? Can we do this?
Sure. Okay. I'm not on streaming yet, so I don't.
Magic mirror on the wall, who's most misunderstood of all. But I can't judge, I just reflect. So what you see is what you. Magic mirror on the wall, who's most
I just figured out what this reminds me of.
I can't judge.
But it's new. It's the new
song.
Hold on. It's what you.
Go ahead. Sorry, I could not hear you.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, I just realized what it reminded me of. But first of all, it's from the new show Villains Unfairly Ever After, coming to Hollywood Studios, opening May 27th alongside the Little Mermaid musical adventure, sung by the Magic Mirror. And it just reminded me of the Fatwa musical in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay. What it reminded me of is that part at the end of, I don't know if it's the court, but it's like the what you get. It reminded me of who do you think's to blame, the mother and the
father. Nikki points out it's maybe like a Disney sing-along. Bluntly, it made us less excited for the show when we heard about it. So it's just, I was watching, there's another behind the scenes video. I think we have it on our post. There's a behind the scenes video and they said it has infusions of rock and orchestra and opera. And I was just like, what? And then you hear that and it just sounds very in. My lovely wife said, is that going to be in the show? And I said, I hope this is just a demo track and maybe it's just live people singing. And that might be a little bit better. But either way, it's going to be featured in the new show. So look forward to that. May 27th.
Yeah, and that May 27th. Yes, thank you. Tony, news yesterday. We got a new poster. The Fantastic Four. What's this pram back here? I wonder if that has anything to do with the storyline that we're introduced
to. What's with the empty space between them too?
There's a rift. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got a trailer for The Fantastic Four First Steps. I will play it, but on mute as we talk, and I'll go back to this other weird view. Yeah, more Pedro Pascal in your life. And I don't know, it looks pretty interesting.
I like the look of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Some of this stuff we'd seen before or seen similar things to. But what's different about this one, and I'll skip ahead a bit, is this really the second one? Yeah, I guess it is.
Do you ever like see backlots on and trailers and movies and go, I know where that one is?
Yes. If you watch Paradise, you're like, oh, it's Stars Hollow. It's the Warner Brothers lot. But that's the Silver Surfer that's going to appear in this. And that was our first look at the Silver Surfer in this movie. So that was kind of fun. So yeah, Star Wars. I got Star Wars on the brain. So Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four, First Steps, arriving in theaters soon. I didn't write down the date. Why can't I find it? July 25th.
I was like, it's July. I knew that, but yeah.
Yes.
I'm not right. Maybe it's Franklin Richards. Is that a Fantastic Four joke I'm not aware of?
Could be. Well, Reed Richards. So yeah. Maybe Franklin's their kid. Hey, it's Franklin. I don't know Marvel comics enough. I only know the movies, and even then, I'm not that great. Anyway, this next segment, we have two pieces of news that I called actors spilling tea. And first up in that is the Mighty Duck Man. I swear to God, Coach Bombay. Emilio Estevez was on a podcast and was sharing that he felt bad about the way Game Changers ended, which you can't watch Game Changers anymore. It's not even on there, but he wasn't in the second season. And he says that he pitched an idea for a fourth Mighty Duck movie to Disney. And this would have seen Josh Jackson's character and Kenan Thompson's character trying to talk Coach Bombay into coaching an expansion team for a professional women's hockey league. And so he talked a little bit about that. Disney apparently was not interested, which is why we don't have any info. Yeah, kind of interesting.
I'm over here thinking of plays with Quack and Quad for the fourth one, but I don't know.
But Tony, then we got some tidbits from Disney legend Tim Allen.
Yes, the Tom Holland of Pixar Animation Studios. Tim Allen can't keep his mouth shut. Is spilling some stuff about Toy Story 5. In fairness, a lot of it not quite stuff we didn't know for sure. Previously, he has hinted at a Jesse plot in the movie. Now he has said again that this movie will have a lot to do with Jesse, which made me immediately think of Toy Story of Terror, which is pretty much Jesse-centric. And then, obviously, Woody and Buzz will reunite, as we saw from the concept art. They will be together. But Tim confirmed it. And then he also said there's an opening scene involving multiple Buzz Lightyears, which is kind of well-worn territory at this point for the Toy Story franchise, where there's always at least one
which
or two.
Which is why I instructed our news desk to include this photo.
Yes. From Toy Story 2, when all of them are there. But yeah, so nothing completely new. He just won't shut up, and is he might potentially do a big reveal soon. So we'll see.
Yeah. We have a couple more stories, and then we're going to get to a very special guest. So we'll go through these quickly. Daredevil wrapped up its first season earlier this week, and we got a tease from the showrunner that it's going to season 2 is expected to return in June. Don't know where I got June from. March 2026. So about a year from now, a little bit less than a year, we should have a season 2 of that. And then Tony, we got some interesting news about the parks and Disney Plus.
Yeah, so celebrating May 4th, Disney Plus will release POVs, much like you can find on YouTube, I'm guessing, but probably more
maybe on this very channel, Tony?
Maybe on Laughing Place's own YouTube channel of Walking Through Galaxy's Edge After Hours, which arguably nobody else has. And then Rise of the Resistance, both at the Disneyland Resort. Now, when they announced those, not only did they say it's coming May 4th, but they said both were to celebrate 70 years of storytelling at Disneyland Park, which caused myself and maybe a couple others to speculate, is this something we're going to see all year on Disney Plus? Because the 70th anniversary? Who knows? But either way, May 4th, Galaxy's Edge After Hours walkthrough and Rise of the Resistance POV ride through video.
Nice.
On May 4th to Disney Plus.
And real quickly before we get to our guests, I wanted to go through the Disney Plus top 10. Oh, and he has to come back. So I will go a little bit slower. Mufasa, the Lion King, in the first position. The aforementioned Daredevil, Born Again, number 2. Shark Tale, very funny up there. Titanic, The Digital Resurrection, which we
I
talked
watched
a little
that
bit
last
about.
night, actually.
How was it?
It was good. I liked how they didn't say specifically that it was the volume or ILM stagecraft, but it totally was. And they just went through, and I thought that was really cool. And they could see stuff that you couldn't see through a little submarine hole.
Nice.
But yeah, it was really cool.
Good American Family, number 5. Pets, which you can read my review of on the site, number 6. The Stolen Girl, which you can read Maxon's review of on Laughing Place. Rio 2, Avengers Endgame, and Avengers Infinity War. But right now, Tony, let's go to a very special guest. Hi, Jeremiah.
Hi, guys. I don't know if
Hello.
this signal will keep it all, but I thought this would be a fun, me to drop in.
Yeah, you made it. I'm so happy for you. You're awake. It's also impressive.
I also forgot he was going to Paris because I was like, that doesn't look like Hong Kong.
Hong Kong was less than 24 hours ago. Well, according to the world clock. Yeah, I'm in Disneyland Paris. They're actually doing a preview, a soft opening of the music festival. So I'm standing in the hub waiting for the grand finale to happen in about a half hour.
Very cool. And yeah, we'll have video of that up shortly after that. I hope that Daft Monk show up again. That's my.
I'm hearing that they may show up all day today. They've been doing different previews, but sadly, I've been asleep for most of the day. So I'll get this, and then tomorrow we will have the full show range going on at the Disney Music Festival here at Disneyland Paris.
Nice. And if you don't know about Daft Monk, we did a Inside LP on, was that Monday? We talked about the Disney Destiny, but then also Disneyland Paris. You can go check that out on this channel.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed. I'm live on the Wi-Fi in the park, so maybe tomorrow we'll do this again.
Tomorrow will be Saturday, so
No, we won't do this again tomorrow.
You
Maybe
can just call me. It's fine. I'll watch.
Yes. No, but like I said, tomorrow is the grand opening of the music festival. So my plan is to have all of the shows going around the parks uploaded by the time it's noon around there over on your side.
who knows?
Yeah, I know.
Who's
Time
to
travel's
say?
difficult.
But
Yeah, see, when you were in Hong Kong, you were close to the Japan's time zone. I think it's about an hour difference. So now we got someone like we have a West Coast, we have an East Coast, we have a Paris, and we have a Tokyo. So we're just just makes it even more confusing.
We got to have the main call tomorrow. Make sure Doobie's awake for us tomorrow morning.
I'm gonna send someone to Newfoundland so that we can get that half hour covered. Anyway, well, thank you, Jeremiah. What an awesome surprise and beautiful shot of Sleeping Beauty Castle, or if I knew how to say it in French, I would.
Yeah, Sleeping Beauty Castle, just in French. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
I want
What
to
a
get
fun.
flown. I want to get flown somewhere and say I didn't get that video because I was sleeping. That's
Yeah. I mean, he did have a long flight. But anyway, let's move on with this show.
And I've had my share of bad reviews. I still remember my first good one, though. Everything else in this production of Our Town was simply terrible. Joey Tribbiani was abysmal.
And speaking of abysmal, not really. Got to keep up the bit, though. Mike had a chance to review the new season of ILM Light and Magic. It's a docu-series. This was we talked about a few weeks ago. This was kind of a surprise that it was happening, and then it is already or is coming very soon. I will read you his headline, subhead, and an abridged version of his final paragraph. His headline is ILM pioneers the digital effects revolution in the beyond fascinating second season of Light and Magic. His subhead, learn more about the visual effects in Star Wars prequel trilogy and other films from that era. And then he says, the bulk of Light and Magic season 2 is engrossing, is much this, wow. I think my abridging, I messed things up here. The bulk of Light and Magic season 2 is engrossing as the first batch of episodes were, I learned an awful lot about how the visual effects evolved over that time frame, and I was glad to hear from so many players involved, including the prequel trilogy producer Rick McCullum, who surprisingly had a semi-contentious relationship with ILM in his goals to slash the budgets of those movies. Much like the fan regard for the prequels has warmed considerably in the time since their release, I guess it takes about a quarter century to get significantly more transparent on the various backstage woes. Despite Disney Plus having already explored that territory in the Disney Gallery, the Mandalorian docuseries, I suspect he was talking about the volume, sorry. I suspect a third and final season of Light and Magic may make its way sooner rather than later in order to truly bring audiences into the modern era of visual effects, sorry. So yeah, what? Sure.
The first season of Light and Magic, wasn't that involved in some way in the Disney Plus purge when everything got kicked off, or is that still available?
I would hope it's still available if they put up a second season, but I can't swear to it.
Yeah.
But then I have one other review. I won't read this one because I wrote it. There's a new mobile game available called Disney Solitaire. I thought it looked familiar, kind of like another game I play called Solitaire Grand Harvest. And there's definitely some similar mechanics. I really thought that this had snappy and responsive gameplay, almost too responsive. I accidentally would flip a couple of cards a few times, but it's kind of fun the way that it works. You play, if you've ever played one of these games, it's like you connect the cards like this, and you try to clear the board without running out of cards here. And then you collect stars, and those stars activate different things in the scene. So like here, adding flounder was a thing, or, eventually it'll play out. So for Beauty and the Beast is the first one, you actually get to see them dance at the end and things like that. So pretty fun little game. Of course, you do want to be careful because there are things to buy in the game. I do not recommend that you do that. I recommend that you just you get free coins every hour. That's how you play the levels. Just do that. Don't get tempted by the power-ups and things like that. And if you can do that, I think it's a pretty fun game, worth hanging out. I don't know if it's worth your time, because saying that about a mobile game, but it's enjoyable for sure. But now we're going to move on to... Do we have any comments? I feel like I've just been talking this whole time.
Caitlin says hello.
Hi. Hi, Caitlin.
Fred commented on my stutter fit I got into, saying I just turned into Porky Pig.
Aww.
A little offended, but I'll move on. And then Leanna says, I'm going to miss Anakin, but will definitely enjoy Anakin Solo. Not sure what that's referring to, but
I don't know.
And the rest.
Tony, starting off the rest. Disappointing news from Disneyland that they just try to sneak under the radar.
Just a little bit. Coming in at originally it was supposed to open on the 15th. Now opening on May 9th. It's a Small World was delayed after its refurbishment / removal of It's a Small World holiday. But it will come back on May 9th with new figures from Coco placed appropriately in the attraction. But it will not have that new verse that was promised, the last verse written by Richard Sherman. That will debut on July 17th. So there's going to be about a 2-month period there where the big headline will be that there's a new Coco figure after the ride comes back.
Yes, which we already knew that the verse wasn't being added till later, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm just confirming that it's not.
No, that's fine.
Or anything. Yeah.
And then
television, Coyote's ugly star / star of Yellowstone, Piper Perabo, has been.
I didn't know she was on Yellow. She's on one of the biggest shows, and I'm just like,
I didn't know that either.
Coyote Ugly to you.
Yep. We would not fight the moonlight on that one. But she has been cast in a recurring role on ABC's Grey's Anatomy. Her episode will debut May 1st. And then it will be a 3-episode stint where she plays the mom of a child who is undergoing some pretty heavy brain surgery. So we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, it's going to last a few weeks. So it's going to be a pretty serious story chunk.
And then going over to some other parks, I wanted to show off this from Universal Fan Nights. This is apparently a Dungeons and Dragons monster. This puppet was created by Jim Henson's Creature Shop. It's a fully articulated Xanathar. But Tony, I don't know if this made you think of this or if you actually know who this character is, but this is what I thought of when I saw this.
I don't know about a specific character, but yeah. That's
what I thought it looked like.
I could see the stylization there for sure.
Yeah, the eye, the teeth. So yeah, pretty crazy looking. But this will be part of they've been revealing lots of more details about their hard ticket event. The FanFest nights, that's going to be on select nights between April 25th coming up and May 18th. So that'll be very interesting to see how that performs, because they got a lot of cool things happening over there.
I'm excited for that event, and I'm not even going to be able to go. So it's basically a Halloween Horror Nights, but with more just like step into the world of this thing you love, not so much let's terrify you. I'm going to.
I'm frustrated with my. Yeah, go for it.
Fred says, "Sorry, I was just joking, Fred. It's no harm." Nikki, hopefully the Hula Girls will be working. I don't know what that one was. On It's a Small World. And then Fred also points out a new trailer for the movie Him from Universal Studios. But go on.
All right. I made a face. It wasn't at you. It was I have a new video to make for Around LP, and I didn't get a chance to do it yet. So we're gonna watch the old one, but just know in the future you're gonna get a new one. So recently, Benjamin and I had a chance to chat with the filmmakers behind Not Just a Goof. This is Chris. That's Eric. And we talked to them for about 20 minutes about their movie. I got to ask them about that Atlanta episode and what they thought of it. So you can go ahead and read this whole interview, or you can scroll down to the bottom and listen to it on the latest episode of Laughing Place on Balance podcast. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, but you can also find it right here embedded in the article because I'm just that good of a person. And then also around LP, Gavin Doyle, one of our contributors from Mickey Visit, who visits Laughing Place, is back writing about the top 5 Walt Disney World experiences that you can have without a park ticket. So if you if you want, go to Universal, but then still go to Disney, but don't buy tickets. Just go do some other cool stuff. So you could do that, or as part of your off day from the parks. So yeah, be sure to check that out.
Does he point out how strict hotel parking can be?
He might. I would hope that he does, because that's something that makes a lot of this more difficult. But if you make reservations for places like, I would recommend, if you want to do the monorail loop, make a reservation, go to Steakhouse 71, get yourself that delicious cheeseburger, and then take your time taking the monorail around. You can even walk back from the Grand Floridian through Magic Kingdom and over back to the Contemporary.
We went to enjoy the Wailulu bar at the new Polynesian Tower, and I don't know if there are reservations or if we just didn't get one, but we tried to go in the parking at Polynesian. They said, absolutely not. Go park at the Magic Kingdom and walk over. So
such a change, because they used to be like, mahalo.
Yeah.
Wave you right in.
Nope. And then the guard even stood outside to make sure the cars he told to turn around were in fact turning around. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, okay, we'll turn around and then just keep going. No, he would like get in the way and make sure you turned. So they've gotten quite strict over there.
Well, that's a late entry to our next segment, but we'll exclude it for now. Our newest segment.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. I'm a loser.
Tony, did you want to go first or second? And remembering that second does back to back.
I'll do second back to back because I like a good segue.
All right. Well, first up, my winner for this week is going to be Hong Kong Disneyland, because, my gosh, look at this. As I pull it up and go over
9 in 10 seniors
and watch a commercial.
Okay,
just
Medicare.
Going great. Did not plan ahead.
Medicare.
Should have used the other account where I don't have ads. Yeah, like this is so cool having a red carpet in the middle of the park and having cast members and this guy in a red suit. Just tons of fun. A 20th anniversary for this park is crazy, as Tony was saying. And it's a park that, started off, when you look at what was available on day one, it's almost insulting how little there was. And so it's really cool to see it grow, both in terms of size and also appreciation. I feel like every person that I know that gets to go there really falls in love with it and how charming it is, even with its relatively small size. And so congratulations, Hong Kong. I'm excited for you, and I think you throw an awesome looking party.
I know it's also cultural, but I remember back in the opening, the majority of the attractions were photo spots listed on the park map, which I thought was just insane over here stateside. But same thing with attractions being restaurants at California Adventure, I guess.
Yeah. All right, Tony, who's your winner?
My winner comes from the hat, which I'd like to thank Josh for pointing out that it's a nice hat. Disney Cruise Line announced many more details about the Disney Destiny and showed off some art for their new Hercules show. And the minute I saw that, I'm already booked on the Disney, but if I hadn't been, that would have done it for sure. Because having seen what we saw with the Te-Ka puppet for the Moana show, I can only imagine this is something along that same kind of tech. And I'm very excited because I love the film, and it's excited to see what it's like on the stage here. Segueing into my loser, I was checking all those Disney Destiny updates while I was at a preview of Epic Universe. Who is my loser for the week? The Ministry of Magic is up and running, but only accessible to the Ride Lottery system, otherwise known as Virtual Queue. And I've been tracking it in the last few days of previews, and most people are not getting a virtual queue, and the only people who are speaking positively of it are the few that are. Without divulging too much, I know that the percentage of who gets a virtual queue, who tries, and versus who doesn't is quite low because of the current operational capacity of that attraction. But the fact that that's the option that you have, and only about 10 to 15% of the people are able to secure one after paying $150 to get into a preview, is pretty ridiculous. So, yeah,
good choice. My loser of the week is somewhat similar, and it's guests of the Disneyland Resort who booked wanted to go see this Coco thing on the day that it was announced to open before it got pushed back again. This is the second time that this has happened. Granted, the saving grace here is that this should still be open before the kickoff of the 70th anniversary celebration. So if you booked for that, you'll still be able to get to experience this. But you won't be experiencing the Walt show because that already got pushed to July. And so, yeah, I think it's unfortunate when they do this. And, it's only like a week or two away from when it was supposed to open. So not a ton of, I do realize that probably the people who booked to see this are annual pass holders and vloggers. So it's not the end of the world, but if there were guests who were excited to see this during their vacation there and now won't, then I feel bad for them.
Not counting any LP related things. Have you ever made a trip just for the opening of something new?
No, not really.
So, or planned a trip for a single attraction is a better question.
I guess if you say we made a point to do the Star Cruiser when it was still relatively new. We weren't there for the first voyage, but we made sure we wanted to get in somewhat early, and it worked out with our timing.
Back in the day, devotees may recall, I worked at Magic Kingdom. Somebody approached me in 2008 after the election and said that they were very upset that they wanted their money back because the only reason they came to the Magic Kingdom that day was to experience the Hall of Presidents. And I laughed in their face. Nobody in the history, well, maybe not in the history, but nobody in the modern era has bought a Magic Kingdom ticket solely for the Hall of Presidents.
Yeah, I don't think that happened.
If they were that diehard of a presidential fan, they knew it was an election year.
Yeah. All right. So, any comments before your quiz? Meaning from
No, I saw Luke's comment that on that note, wouldn't it be better to have a guaranteed spot? Yeah, but you don't have a guaranteed spot because you're entering a lottery. That's the problem with virtual queue. It's a lottery. It's not an easier waiting system.
All right. Tony, lots of birthdays today, so we're going to go through these. I'm going to give you some pretty silly clues along the way. Your first one, a iconic Disney actress known for her roles in The Parent Trap and Good Morning, Miss Bliss.
Haley Mills.
That is Haley Mills, indeed. If you don't know, Good Morning, Miss Bliss was the Disney Channel show that was Saved by the Bell before Saved by the Bell. And then if you caught it, you might have seen it and not known it because they called it like Saved by the Bell, the junior high years or something, but it was all packaged with the syndication for Saved by the Bell, which is very
Have you
funny.
seen the recent interview with Mark Paul Gosselaar? And he praises the web series Zach Morris is trash for calling out.
No, but I do
awful that
love Zach
character
Morris
is.
is trash.
Okay. No, he was basically asking the interviewer, like, have you ever seen that show? Or have you ever seen that? Because he is a very dark, twisted character, and I'm glad people are realizing that now.
Next up, born on this day in 1947, I'm going to give you this clue. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
Oh my goodness, I'm right there. James Woods.
That is James Woods, as seen on Family Guy, but he also is obviously Hades in Hercules. But yeah, that's a bit on Family Guy. On this day in 1950, a choreographer and director was born. That should be enough, but
What was the year 50s?
1950 is when he was born.
Choreographer and director?
Yes.
I immediately think Kenny Ortega.
That is Kenny Ortega.
Okay.
Did Hocus Pocus, has done, he did High School Musical stuff, right?
I believe so.
He
I
does
mostly
lots
know
of
him from Michael Jackson. Oh my God, the Michael Jackson concert feature that came out after he passed.
Yeah. On this day in 1953, a huge staple of 1980s and early 90s comedies, including family comedies, and also appears in a Disney animated film.
I'm guessing Bette Midler right off the bat.
No,
okay.
A Canadian actor also appeared in the Disney parks.
Martin Short.
No, close.
Canadian, also appears in the Disney parks. Family comedy.
Did. I don't think he does anymore.
Canadian actor.
Starred in a tiny or huge Disney franchise.
Oh, Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis. Yes. Dark Helmet himself. Yes. Happy birthday, Rick Moranis, who's still supposed to return for Shrunk if that ever comes out. On this day, 1971, no hints from Luke. He is known for playing the Doctor, but he's also a voice on the rebooted DuckTales.
Oh my gosh, Michael Sheen's best friend, whose name I forgot. I know he's Scrooge in the new one.
Yes.
David. Is it a D?
I'll give it to you. It's David Tennant.
David Tennant. Thank you.
Yes, he does appear on the Disney version of Doctor Who. He was on the first specials.
You didn't give me credit for Michael Sheen's best friend. Have you not seen that web series?
Guess not.
Okay.
On this day, 1976, your clue for this actress is na 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 na.
Melissa Joan Hart.
Na, na, na. Melissa Joan Hart. Yes, a star of what I was singing was not a Disney show. That's Nickelodeon, but she is Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Melissa and Joey. And this still is from a web series called Under a Rock with Tig Notaro that I highly recommend. It's very fun.
100%. I like the, oh my gosh, I forgot her name, but the woman from Game of Thrones, shame her.
Oh, yeah.
Lena Headey.
Yeah. On this day, 1994, I don't know how to give you a hint about this, but something opened. Disney entered a new avenue, if you will, for this big debut of another retelling of one of their animated classics.
Wait, say it again. It opened in 1994.
Opened in 1994, kicked off a new venture for Disney. Perhaps it was in New York City.
Oh, is it when they bought the theater?
Kind of.
No,
you're on the right track.
Is it when they redid Times Square?
Close enough.
Okay.
Beauty and the Beast opened.
Okay.
The first Disney theatrical production on Broadway.
The movie was 91, so I don't know why I thought it was 92 when that came out, but
yeah. On this day in 2002, 2 attractions open at Walt Disney World, both of which are no longer open.
2002, I'm guessing it's Primeval Whirl and Triceratops Spin.
Correct. Yeah, Dinoland USA, Chester and Hester's Dinoland USA. And then finally, on this day in 2003, don't complete the line, but your hint is, Grandpa, I'm tired of digging.
Holes?
Holes, yes. Yep. Dig it up, holes, dig it. Dig up. Becca completed the line from the other room.
I thought I heard something.
Good Friday.
If you had your headphones in, you might have picked up on it too. If not, I don't think you heard anything. Just the dead silence there. Yeah.
Anyway, that's finally it for this supersized show, Tony. Jeez, we did have a lot to cover. I threw in some stuff from the past few days. But anyway, we have so much going on at Laughing Place. Obviously, we have Jeremiah in Paris covering the opening of the musical festival. We got the people still over in Tokyo that'll be covering the Star Wars weekend or Star Wars celebration all weekend. So be sure to check out Laughing Place. Also, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the bell so we'll get Jeremiah's video up here very shortly. You'll get to see that. And we'll be back eventually. Anything else to say, Tony?
Fred says, have a nice weekend and happy Easter, which makes me think that we should just take over trivia tomorrow night and do an Easter eggs quiz. But
that would be pretty funny. I think Doobie might also be mad about it.
Okay. Noted.
The April 1st thing would have worked, but otherwise. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.